Hi, everyone. This is Kevin Tharp, and today we're into the beginning of Module 4. Finished up Module 3, and typical with technology, we came into this with some problems for a few people. So there's a couple things that I want to talk about here. They're all related to data and the cloud. First off, I've gone through and read your entire all of the articles about the community conflict with the data centers, and I was very pleased with the level of analysis and looking at the issues that most of you did there. As you might imagine, opinions came down on all edges of the spectrum, and I anticipated that would. But I think everybody had an opportunity to look at what was going on, and there were some very insightful. Some people really put a lot of effort into that assignment, and it showed. Um, but I wasn't able to come in and grade those on Monday because Canvas was down because of the Amazon Web Services outage that happened. And teaching all of my classes online in Canvas, what that did is it made it clear to me that I can't do my job without access to the data centers that and the data that's in there. So Canvas lives, or at least the assignments that are turned in, uh, live in one of those data centers somewhere. And when the web service, the Amazon Web Services went down, I was able to initially access Canvas, but I couldn't access the assignments. Later, all of Canvas kind of went away because you couldn't really do anything with it anyway. But so my week has been spent dealing with data centers and data and the realization that there are challenges to this. I hope that's what you got out of it too. This week we're moving on. The videos are in the start here online that talks about it, but we're talking about databases and data management, business intelligence, big data and analytics, and enterprise systems. So all of these things tie really well into what we have been experiencing with that assignment, but also with Canvas and the failure of the web and how it affected our lives. That also pointed out one of the things that I'm seeing as the analysis is coming out. It points out how um, challenging it can be when we are reliant on these mega data providers. So that when one service went out, the amount of things across the internet that went down was amazing. And that one of the things that's coming out of the literature is that really puts us at risk um, when there is so much of that centralized to so few providers. And we won't dig into trying to understand exactly what that is, but just because of the circumstances that I live in, it's all kind of everything that we're learning right now is really playing out in my life, and I imagine to some degrees in your lives too. So we're going to keep moving on. Though we're still talking about data because right now that is the way the world is run. We're going to get into logic. Logic is what works kind of behind the scenes to allow all these softwares and operating systems and data queries and all that stuff to work. So you'll start wrestling with understanding how to use that. You'll be doing things like using functions and formulas, but you'll also be looking at setting up some rules in Microsoft Outlook using some of these logic things. So it's very applied moving forward with what we're doing. And frankly, most of you are doing very well across the different classes. Of course, you know by now that I extended the deadlines until Sunday night for a couple of those assignments in Module 3, the ones that were based in completely in Canvas, just because it was down at the time when some of you would have been doing those exercises. So that's sort of where we're at now. Live in the world that is highly driven, highly dependent upon data, the transmission of data, the storage of data, and looking at some of the impacts of that when things, don't go exactly the way that they're promised. So that's all I've got for today. I really do appreciate. I just read about 80, somewhere between 80 and 90 of those. Your assignments on the data. Some of the other stuff I'm a little bit behind in because normally I grade on Mondays and I didn't have access to Canvas. So I'm going to be a little bit behind in getting some of the grading to you, but I should have everything caught up by the time we finish this module. So um, carry on. Things are going well from my perspective, and I hope you're getting a lot out of this class. Talk to you later. Bye bye.